This will be a brief overview of the money logs, also I know very commonly called P&I logs inside of Alcomy. This is something that we're going to be releasing soon within the next few weeks. Just wanted to give you a little bit of an introductory look at it. So the first thing you're going to do is go to the dashboard where you'll see all of the logs. These are all different logs like behaviors, activities, weights, different things like that. And you'll see that there's a money log here. So whether it's a deposit or whether it's a expense, you can enter it in here. So as an example, let's say a family gives you $50 to give to the client. You can put that in there. You can choose kind of what category it's coming from, and these are also customizable, so you can add different categories, and then you can put the memo. So family gave money for Christmas, or whatever the reason is. You can do that. You can also take a picture of the receipt. So like, let's say, not in the case of a deposit maybe, but or maybe it is, maybe you take a picture of the money, or maybe you take a picture of the receipt when there's an expense. So you take a picture. I'm just going to put my hand here so you can see that. And then it'll excuse the ugly picture here, but it'll take the picture. You can also write notes as well if you want, and then click record. You'll see at the top that by creating this money log, you're agreeing to assign your digital signature. Licensing requires the signature of a facility representative as well as the client. So if you click record here, it'll now prompt you, and this is where the client can type their name. So I'm going to put John Adams, and I'm going to go ahead and sign. And so I have now signed or have added that. If I want to see the record of it, if I go to residence here, let's say I go to John Adams, click notebook, and go to the money. Here is where I can see all of the expenses or deposits on behalf of John Adams. So you can see that there. When you need to run a report, like let's say it's for a quarterly report, or you just want to see and print off what sort of money is being spent, there's a report, which I'll show you in a second. I just want to mention one more thing. So if the staff does put in a expense or a deposit, they record a log, and they don't have the resident there to sign, or the resident doesn't want to sign, then there is an option to sign later. So if I go back here, go to notebook, and I click on John's money again, it's not going to let me do something that's a zero. So I'm going to do $25. Let's say record. And so you can click sign later. And so if they want to sign later, if you go to the dashboard here, you'll see that there's a tab here that alerts you saying, hey, there's 2 unsigned money logs. So this is referring to the logs for the money, the P&I, that haven't had a signature from the client. So that'll show up there, just to kind of always make sure you're in compliance. But to go to the report, if I click on residence and I go to reports, you can include the P&I or the money report on the quarterly. I know that's an important thing. I'm just going to show you what just the single money log will look like. So I'm going to click generate. I'm going to choose John Adams, and then I'm going to choose the time frame. So I'm going to say, let's do the month of December. It's December 2025. And so now this will all pull from what your staff has done, and you'll see for the month of December, you can see the different expenses, you can see the different deposits, as well as you can see the current balance, and then you'll see each of the money expenditures and deposits here. So, with the signatures, so again, this one we have said sign later, so it won't show a signature, but that's the report. And again, you can add that to the quarterly report, and so you can see the current balance. I know that's often a requirement. But that's an overview of the P&I log. Again, that'll be coming out within the next week or two. Thanks.